Hello everyone. Once again, I want to welcome you back to this YouTube channel. It's Gilbert or what once again, and as I had discussed with you earlier in my previous videos, that this time all around we shall be in the world of information literacy. And I remember telling you in my previous video that information literacy has a number of aspects that we are supposed to learn, and then we get them in our heads so that we are not misinterpreted anywhere, or maybe so that we don't make a mistake somewhere at a point in time, maybe when we are doing our research or something else. And one of those is what we are calling plagiarism, that we shall talk about in this video. And plagiarism, when we talk of plagiarism, plagiarism is the intentional, negligible, or could also be an intentional use of, or direct quotation of somebody's piece of work, incorporating somebody's piece of work into your own without full and clear acknowledgement of the author to the work that you have incorporated into yours, because ideally it is important to let the public, or to let the people who are accessing your work, to understand from whom have you borrowed ideas from. So incorporating that work into yours without crediting the authors of that particular piece of work is what we refer to as plagiarism. And you find that this plagiarism, it can be intentional, it can be non-intentional, and it can be out of maybe when you're negligible. That is when this plagiarism occurs. And I want you to understand the different types of plagiarism, the different types of plagiarisms that we have. As you can see, we have direct plagiarism, self-plagiarism, mosaic plagiarism, then accidental plagiarism. Now, what do I mean when I talk about direct plagiarism? Here, direct plagiarism involves using a word for word from someone's piece of work, obviously without giving credibility to that particular author, or maybe without even quoting, putting quotation marks to indicate that these are words that are borrowed from this particular work by this particular author. You pick the words directly and you just incorporate them into your piece of research. That is what we call direct plagiarism. And then self-plagiarism, as you have just read, that it is self-plagiarism. Self, that means from within you. And this one here is most common with the high school students, and then the university students, or maybe some people doing research. You find that a person goes back to their previous work, and then they just remove it, and then boom, into their current research that they are doing. That is what we call self-plagiarism, incorporating your previous work into a current research that you're doing on a particular topic. And then we have mosaic plagiarism, whereby for this particular case of the mosaic plagiarism, this is particularly where you find that someone has borrowed words from a particular source, and the person fails uh, to put the quotation marks to indicate that these are words that I've picked from some source, and then maybe the person picks a whole paragraph of an author's work, puts them into his work, and then the person just uses synonyms. You know that the person just uses words that have the same meaning to alter into the paragraph to come out with a something that looks similar to what the author has talked about in his work, but when they exactly have the same meaning and then the same roots. And then when here we have accidental plagiarism. This is it happens by accident. It is not intentional. It is a basically out of negligence, where you find that someone has misquoted or maybe miscited a particular work, or maybe the person has used a sort of a wrong citation format for a particular piece of research. That is when accidental plagiarism comes about. And then another thing that I want you to understand are the causes of plagiarism, because when you know the cause of something, it is ideally very easy for you to correct that particular mistake. And for that, if we understand what brings about plagiarism, we can easily correct plagiarism. So we shall go here, the causes, and then obviously, if you want to correct, you have to avoid the causes. And the first cause is what we are calling citation errors. As I had told you earlier on, this could be one. You have used the wrong citation format, or maybe you forgot to cite, or maybe and then to correct this, as you go through your work, you have to cite there and then as you're writing the work. Because if you forget to cite, first of all, you'll forget of the area where the citation comes. You'll miscite something where it's not supposed to be, or maybe you'll use a wrong citation format. And then another is a poor note taking. You know, many students, they have that tendency of using, let's talk of too much abbreviations. They a poor reading culture. They don't want to read through a very bulky piece of work, so they just they skim, they scan through, and then they just pick what they feel it is important. That is poor note taking. If you have such a habit, then you can easily fall a victim of plagiarism. Then incomplete understanding of the original work. The work that you want to incorporate into your research, they should have the same content. They should be talking of the same thing. If you fail to understand what the original work is about, you can pick something different, you incorporate into your thing. At the end of it all, you find that your piece of research it doesn't have a chronological flow. So with all this, I'm so grateful that we were in position to dive through plagiarism. We know what it is, and I know that we shall not fall victims of plagiarism. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.